As the wealthiest guardian angel sent by God in world history, who will protect my life while the greatest roundup occurs and transition to UNIocracy.org ever occurs? 1206, pound built by Keith, on exactly November the 7th, 2025, historical day where the world reverses. The use of Evote.one is godsconstitution.org that describes a crime-free, debt-free, drama-free utopia, UNIocracy.org. We're asking everyone first to protect my life. Cyber criminals want me dead, starting with Robert D. Rose at DuncanClaim.org, that everyone refuses I ever existed. I have 5 TPOs that were criminally filed after people robbed me and threatened me because they are lifetime career criminals. Who are these 5 people? Robert D. Rose, Sherry Duncan, then it was Miss Bashama, Doug Duncan, and now it's Bella Farkas. My apartment, I can't even get into my own apartment because Bella claims that I owe him $1,000 for cleaning charges because he's obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar, manic depressive, germophobic, and of course paranoid schizophrenic. It's gotten really bad the last 4 years. So I'm currently temporarily in Norcross. I've got a van that's on its last legs, and my company is worth more than $40 billion, and yet I can't get the attention of anybody, including corporations, churches, pastors. Really can't get hold of corporate executives or Governor Kemp or senators, mayors, police chiefs, because they're all too busy thinking that they have to have cash up front before they can even have a conversation. You have to pay for publicity. Oh, they think that I'm cross-promoting. Who? What? I'm cross-promoting and showing that you are your own decision-making authority and expecting Jesus Christ and God to arrive to save your assets. And I say that word very specifically. Set of asses called an asset, one of my most famous non-jokes. It's an opening line for PeaceSummit2020.com. Who protects your rights, your assets, and your souls? It has to be yourself first, which is called self-save, self-liberation. The one person that really understands 5% of what's going on is Tom Haig out in Las Vegas. His voice over IP number, he has multiple burner cells, is 725-666-7759. Mine are all over. I'm deeply in debt now at $18,000 because the banks and you and everyone else will not accept UNIocracy.org. Protect my life today. December 7th, exactly 14 years ago, was when Brian Walker, who robbed you of more than $40 billion after Sherry Duncan and the 2 sons cleaned out my Marietta home and moved half of the stuff to Norcross, that was subsequently sold off on a canceled restraining order, Cobb County TPO 11.1.1171, that was canceled July 15th, 2011, after Miss Bashama brutally robbed you of just $40,000, but she got so much more, and cybercrime terrorist Robert D. Rose, which we have most accurately termed and defined as attributed as the Antichrist. So we'd already written LuciferAgenda.org, and we've already shown WorldWar4.org, which is the demise of humanity, all caused by the single push of a nuclear button. Disease, warfare, cybercrime, New World Order, depopulation of our own mankind. So who's responsible for closing the loop? It's you. You know exactly what to do. Call me and we will go directly on national news to unleash God's utopia of UNIocracy.org. I'm right there in the choir, always been in the choir, always been working directly with God my whole life. And we have a concert here, December 13th and 14th at Oak Grove United Methodist Church. Simply look us up at ogumc.org. But the main thing is send everyone to the very top of solutionmanifesto.com. And the secondary is teammoneymachine.com. It's the entire system to create only middle class. Everyone's out of debt. Everyone now homesteads. Our company will pay out to build thousands of new self-independent free will communities known as, it was futurecity.life, I lost that one. It's known as onecity.life. And it's all about one umbrella, UNIocracy.org. Forever. And of course, I got to keep saying, reinvestall.com is only local credit unions, everyone using solutionbankfraud.com. And number 2, only privately held companies. That means if you put your money into the money, well, here it is. This is one of the giving cards there for our church. And it's also estimate of giving. With our system, there will be no such thing as taxes and regulations and precedent rulings. The worst precedent ruling in world history you'll find as U.S. government versus Keith Brent Duncan, all tied to North Virginia 411 CR 112. That was the worst denial of all rights in USA world history because it destroyed your new world, UNIocracy.org. It took me 8 to 12 years to rebuild it. I was even rebuilding it when I was sitting in hell in Cherokee County for 5 months. Then I was shipped all over the United States, mostly Norfolk, Virginia, and Raleigh, for 2 years on cancel restraining order 11.1.1171. Why does nobody want to look at the criminal's evidence? Because the criminals already run the world as omni-gods. Did I not explain that clear enough? The value of ChristDomain.org. In fact, the value of everything is multi-trillions of dollars. I'm your world's #1 overseers. We have nothing to do with the money. We have nothing to do with domination or overlord ruling, but we are the overseers of Fortune1.org to teach the whole world you have a moral responsibility to solve your own problem, family problems, community problems. Then we all live in Gods1World.org forever. 1206, November 26, 2025. I was even the head of the band crew from 2001 through 2029. Norcross High School, Norcross, Georgia. The entire system includes worldschoolfund.org and teammoneymachine.com, which is revolutionary that any young person, really anyone, can get a free education, no cost, no scholarship, no loan, as long as they don't flunk. Every classroom in the entire world will now be a workshop. Who's paying for the free Wi-Fi? Who's paying for security? Who's paying to build thousands and millions of new small villages? Myself. Fortune1.org, KeithBrentDuncan.org is all you really need to do your background check and see that indeed we are victims of organized criminals at the worst level, cybercrime. Robert D. Rose, Sherry Duncan, 2 sons, Matthew and Kyle, and of course Miss Bashama, and then murdered Brian Walker, destroyed UNIocracy.org. Trillions of dollars. Proof of fund is again Keith2022.com. December the 5th, 2025, number 1026. Another crime occurred today. I come on official police business, in fact, federal level business, to DeKalb County Courthouse to recover my firearm, which is Bella Farkas 25TO, temporary protective order, 10810218. And I know I can't park on this front street, so I have to park across the street in a private lot. There's nobody in the lot, so I get booted for $85 because I'm here on official international business, solutionlawenforcement.com. The whole world has gone to worshiping Lucifer and being cybercrime antichrists because that's where the money is. They've legalized every crime, every vice, every sin in the entire world with no exception. The criminal ruling elite, best name of all, are terrorists. They control the media, they control all the laws, and they purposely use their victims' assets to pay off the judges, the lawyers, the public defenders. Oh, they're puke defenders, generally speaking. And here I have the whole system of UNIocracy.org. That makes you famous. As you get out of debt, use reinvestall.com and go back to only privately held companies and, of course, only local credit unions using solutionbankfraud.com. And the world's first and last multi-scalable, deployable, unhackable database, FOIA.ONE. The whole system's driven by the most simple, godsconstitution.org, which is also called solutionmanifesto.com. The whole focus is you protect my life. Call me directly and I'll explain to you who has been literally ordering that I be killed and silenced because of my most extreme wealth, $40 billion, Fortune1.org. See, the whole progression was originally bidonkeith.com, 1976. Then it was Follow Keith. Then it was Creator Keith. Then it was Built by Keith. And we finally reorganized as Fortune1.org. Our proof of funds is at Keith2022.com. And you'll finally understand that we are guardian angel protectors. Sent by God 67 years ago. I always thought there were hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe millions of other guardian angels to protect you and to show you how to only be peacemakers at PeaceSummit2020.com. Forever is the definition of God's eternity. Notice I never use a script. November 2nd, 2025. This will be the most watched video of UNIocracy.org to find as will the people decide the next best project. That's it. Direct funding, we pick and replace any leader in the world, all based on the technology from KeithBrentDuncan.org, the world's last billionaire, trillionaire, who is your new world leader. Call us directly and protect our lives today. Most fundamental 1205, November 14th, 2025. This is the officer in DeKalb County that we met yesterday. This is Duncan claim that must be signed by everyone, Governor Brian Kemp and Trump, and then dispatch us to overseas. Here's your basic fundamental tenets of servant leadership, all about UNIocracy. Exactly. Number 1205 series, built by Keith. Exactly November what's the day? Oh my God, it's the 13th, 2025. So today when I delivered to DeKalb Commissioner Lorraine Johnson the package to unify the world, someone claimed it had a smell even though it was open. So they called the hazmat team, the fire department, the deputy chief. So I spoke with them on the street over here, the generator. Oh, there's your turnofflights.com. That'll unify the world. You see, the whole problem is I've been working with God my whole life, with no exception. Isn't that a beautiful sunset behind me? This is God's sunset. The whole system is UNIocracy.org. The will of the people decide the next project. 2, nothing happens unless people come into agreement, as small or great or big groups, could be millions and billions of people come into agreement. Therefore, they direct fund it. 3 is the most critical, because we pick the leader, that means we get to replace the leader, and we get to decide their pay. When they do a good job, we bump their pay up and down, which means no more publicly traded stock market. No more free roaming criminals at any level caused by solutionjudge.com, but it really goes back to dueprocesslaw.org. Yeah, we're broadcasting today, and we do have our press credentials, which are still critical. It's why I travel with this for the last 10 years. Can you read that? U.S. Press, usnewsone.org. And I'm asking no one to ticket me, and I'm asking everyone to call these main numbers, because you've already been there. And to be blacklisted by the USA government because we pay the government to go after super criminals, well, there's your first indication right there of the single word corruption. They violate the law, so we wrote godsconstitution.org. And one last time we'll show you the last letter. That's one of my old, I'll slightly cover up the address just to protect where I'm currently at. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's one of my older driver's licenses, but my number's there. So the government can come find me. In fact, the military can come find me and now provide me. And this is the most powerful letter ever written that we just updated again today. It's actually 50 years old. Directly to Governor Brian Kemp, President Trump, and all overseas world leaders, once and forever. And this is why we've been so powerful in presentations as the #1 keynote speaker to host Mediate Peace Summit 2020. So this is the one. We'll do a little side thing. We'll replace it later on. But there it is. Can you read that and see what that says? There it is. It's all about replacing, total world replacement so that no one can dominate over you. We choose all next best projects by Evote.one. We pick the best manager consultants, FOIA.ONE. All problems are solved by we, the people, proxies. Do you have any idea what proxy means? It's upside down Christmas tree. Call us back directly and also call Thomas Hegg. Well, he's been hiding for 14 years, in fact, 40 years. And this is some of the companies that we're giving away. So if anyone wants our $40 billion, they're going to have to call us and have a sit-down conversation. Fly us anywhere around the world to show the world how to become only peacemakers. How about that? Beautiful sunset. Gods HotLine.org is also how to unify 8.27 billion people. See, I'm the world's smartest person, greatest inventor, theologian, philosopher, psychologist, mentor, counselor, researcher, R&D, inventor. My portfolio of patents is at Keith2022.com, which is a proof of fund. Not billions, trillions of dollars will flow through my corporation of Fortune1.org. It's one of the key reasons that I bannered out everywhere I go with letterhead, of course, Fortune1.org. There's the main number. More than sufficient. And yes, I'm madder than hell that Robert D. Rose still roams freely with 150 other people. 80% are insiders inside the Department of Justice. All based on Norfolk, Virginia, 411 CR 112 that goes all the way back to Cobb County restraining order, canceled July 15, 2011 through Attorney Barry Victor Reynolds, who's a criminal, and District Attorney Patrick Head and everybody else. The Duncan clams robbed you of $40 billion US dollars in assets that were on my computers. They were on the cloud, had 254 domains, already gifting everything to the world, including teammoneymachine.com. But the most critical, have everyone go to UNIocracy.org, then set up conference calls and actually talk with us. How difficult can that possibly be? I'm not sure what this shadow is that keeps popping up on my phone. And the lights just came on. Oh, here we go. Open Circuit TV. So they have proof now that I'm out in the parking lot. I'm not hiding. You are. You're being slave traded and won't even acknowledge it. 1205, exactly November 1st, 2025. I just pulled my last dollars out of Associated Credit Union. I'm the wealthiest person in the entire world. Includes solutionbankfraud.com, which is only two methods. Every database company in the entire world, every bank in the world will use solutionbankfraud.com. The community will use you. Reinvestall.com to pull all your money out of every bank in the world and put it only in credit unions. Because you'll be protected. If you put $1 million into the company, credit union, loaned out for 2 to 3%, you get 1 to 2% on your savings and checking because no one can pull your assets out of any database. Cybercrime terrorist Robert D. Rose is still roaming freely. Where is robertrose.com? God does damn people who violate God's Constitution.org. How much simpler can that be? The other systems are how to stay. November 2nd, 2025. Obviously, Series 1025. This is an abandoned building. Apparently, it used to be a mental hospital or something. Emory University. With no exception, we have solved every one of the world's problems. As the wealthiest person in the entire world, modeled after Jesus Christ and monk King Solomon. Credentials have always been impeccable as sinless, viceless, crimeless, which is really quite rare, to put it politely. And the churches will now be the epicenter, and the civic groups, as the world's greatest revolution. UNIocracy.org. The will of the people decide the next best project. Number 2, only direct funding. peacesummit2020.com. Using Keith's rules of order.com so everyone behaves. And 3, we pick and replace every leader in the world. Doesn't matter if they're government, doesn't matter if they're corporate. Right now, there is no method by anyone, including you, or the governments, or the military, or the Department of Justice, which is everybody, to decide who are guilty of violating your rights. I had every single constitutional right violated. It's all at DuncanClaim.org, and nobody will touch it because it involves extremely what you think are powerful, wealthy Department of Justice officials. Judges, district attorneys, lawyers, doctors, basically everybody violated God's basic criminal ruling called a commandment: never steal, never lie. 3rd is never hide, and 4 is never conspire. That's the whole definition of a criminal violator of God's Constitution.org. You can't fix and patch a system that only puts the money and the authority in. November 2nd, 2025, number 1205, pound built by Keith. This will be the site of the greatest reformation, revolution, peacemaking in world history. All based on the one word, UNIocracy.org, the will of the people decide the next project. 2, nothing happens unless a group of people get together, which is you, to direct fund whatever that infrastructure project is, because it's all about infrastructure. 3, we pick and replace any leader in the world as only subject matter expert. Now, who are the subject matter? Historical Turning Day, October 19th, 2025. Number 1205. In fact, we could do 1206. So people can finally understand that we have a moral obligation to solve any problem in the world at the community level. No better places than the civic groups and the churches. Today at 2:30 we have the charge conference. Yet no one's charged up about anything because all they do is fuss, complain, moan, and groan about how bad the situation is at the top. Well, that's the Lucifer agenda. It's WorldWar4.org. And most people are only motivated by very rare. About 200 clients. November 1st, 2025, Peachtree DeKalb Airport. Obviously, Keith Brent Duncan. Call us and protect our lives right now. 31st, 2025, number 1205, pound built by Keith. We hereby demand the USA government and you protect my life. Restore $500 million of assets that were taken by Robert D. Rose, the Duncan clan, and of course the USA government has refused to accept the criminal evidence at DuncanClaim.org. Why? Because they're engaged in Lucifer worshiping just like you. You have no clue who I've ever been. I work directly with God to publish God's Constitution.org that does everything to restore your assets and your souls back to your own ownership. Means you have to take immediate direct action and use Evote.one. And of course, reinvestall.com means you pull all your assets out of publicly traded anything, which is banks and corporations, and invest only in privately held banks. Most famous is proof of funds, Keith 2022. As we scroll gradually through here, you'll see the value is mega trillions of dollars that proves once and for all my original net value from 1976. No exception. Number 1204, August the 31st, 2025, pound built by Keith. This is the answer for the whole world. Series of you decide everything about everyone else. UNIocracy.org with Evote.one. All the other systems include ecologymining.org of unlimited electricity and water. The whole system is UNIocracy.org, run by godsconstitution.org with you. And here's the layout of the last Who Is list. Sense to do a screen recording to show UNIocracy.org as the only system of utopia of no more criminals worldwide. Oh, how, who, when? We've answered every question with a single solution of solutionmanifesto.com. We've already read it off. We've already shown how the current World War IV is the problem. And this is your issue, why you must protect Keith Brent Duncan's life today. Well, it's right there, read it. We were always the top problem-solving experts of all expertise. We've offered to solve any problem in the world, and we already have, which is the basic for the original PeaceSummit2020.com and bidonkeith.com. Click in there, you'll see that we are the real person. Oh, there's no internet connection right now. So we're going to flip back over to Duncan Kling and show that this is a $500 million lawsuit, and there's the video that proves it. It's an entire peacemaking effort where you get rid of every criminal violator of God's Constitution. And here's the big one, proof of funds. I'm showcasing everything so anyone can find me. I'm not the one hiding. The criminals certainly are. $500 trillion, $50 trillion a year from just one website, two methods, solutionbankfraud.com. The biggest transfer of wealth in world history, which is why it's a double zero, is $450 trillion. My personal portfolio is more than 40 billion. There's your $500 million Duncan claim. I've got $4.2 million that will not be recovered because the insurance companies all claim the police won't leave the report open. No kidding. Gwinnett County, Cobb County police were actively involved in covering up criminal terrorist Robert D. Rose. And here's the original summary judgment, worth not only $1.5 million, it's worth $8 million for the IRS whistleblower. You have every responsibility, moral, spiritual, and economically, seize criminal assets. 1% goes to fortune1.org. I've got to correct that. I don't have any problems with being told, yes I do, that I'm a criminal, that I'm a drug addict, and that I don't deserve to live anymore. So we did due process law. We now all live in God's one world called UNIocracy.org. This is a portfolio of the most prolific series of patents in intellectual property, and we're repeating the same thing over and over again. I would have been earning $5 million in profits per month just on IC Stand and the other solutions. So we're going to close this out and show you and the rest of the world that the only way to solve problems is to talk to us and use 5steps.life. Ending the recording session. This is the last God's keys to the universe. Every single solution known to mankind to unify the world as only one community worldwide. It includes ecologymining.org and all the other solutions. Here's jetsoncraft.com, Keith Air Service, many others. Here's the original list again. Pause and see that this is the only system in world history that we control every decision. We pick and choose every leader as a subject matter expert. That's the entire system of UNIocracy.org. Here's the most formal request we've ever made. Call the governors and the press, particularly U.S. Governor, well, Trump particularly, but U.S. Governor Brian Kemp. We've been talking to them for years now. And the whole system is one banner. We pick the next project. We pick every leader. Here's a cross-reference of all the most fabulous solutions in world history. I'm also known as YodaKeith.org. Again, it's Evote.one drives the entire new world, your system. Another cover page that describes it very briefly. Site of a $40 billion robbery in Norcross, Georgia, 6326 Brandywine Trail. And here's the cancel restraining order from August, well, it's actually July 11th, 2011. And here's the final work of everything of the single dove of peace.